Oh man, I'll tell you what, it's potent today, isn't it? So we'll just get right into culture, indigenous microorganisms, bacterias, the mushrooms, and then how those cultures might reside or look like on your body, how they might look like or reside in the soil, and then what the network is doing and how it's available. It's all available to you, how the bees store the information, and then how the cows cultivate more. So, um, you know, it seems like right now we're arguing about race, culture, and animals. Why? Because humans have this unbelievable urge to control, to manipulate, to force upon something outside of itself and not really allow its unique experience. So the idea of separation, which is a total lie, it's all bullshit. The only way out is in, though. The only way we're going to really get to the oneness is to fully allow the separation and honor it. The delusion is only yours. If you continue the depths of your delusion, you will go fucking crazy, though. You will literally be angry to the point that something will snap, that something will break, and you will find yourself without the ability to evolve. So you will die. Your body will decompose. The air around you is full of microbes. It will start to eat at you. It will decay your physical structure. It has to, because you're not allowing the unique experience. So, how do you allow? How does one become the allower? All right, why all this? Okay. Why? Because I too am trying to control everything. I want you to snap out of this identification game that's killing you. I don't care what color you are. I don't care about all that shit. I never will. Don't make me. Don't be mad at me, blaming me, telling me I'll never understand because I'm not you, but then simultaneously being angry and upset and hurt that I don't understand. You literally just said I'm not going to be able to get it. You can't get it because you're not ... Then what the fuck you so mad about? All right. And that's where we go. That's where we go. We start spinning into the story. We spin out of control. So, I probably shouldn't have started out like that because, shit. If you're still here, you might actually learn something about indigenous microorganisms, cultures, and bacteria, and how it then, of course, relates to the human experience. I should have started with that hardcore stuff first. But it's just where I'm at. I just got to do bee venom therapy on someone, and you know, she's it. She like knows it, but yet falls victim to herself in the separation. And you know, it's easy. It's easy. What is staph infection? What is it? It's cultures alive on your skin. Yes, there's so much science around all this. But I promise you, evolution is happening with or without you. So I was thinking of what would be the easiest way for me to describe evolution in the sense of a bacteria that you think is just unaware. Okay. We see growth coming from a desire, right? But it's just automatic. There's a bacteria that'll actually eat plastic. Well, how would it evolve to eat plastic? Because plastic itself still comes from here. It came from you. We're always going to evolve because it's automatic. What are you afraid of? Somebody hurt you in the past? I know it hurts. I know. We've all been hurt. It could actually help inspire the growth. The unity will definitely get you there. I promise you. So here it is. Always a desire for growth. The bacteria it's automatic though. They don't have a desire. We just like to associate that something is inspiring something else. It's just automatic. Who's the one that sees natural evolution and says desire? Us. A desire to change, a desire to adapt. No, you just will adapt. Or you won't. You will die. The bacteria will eat you. And then the next generation will benefit from your information. Okay. So, in an effort to absorb the information, imagine how hungry one might be. See? We must associate with something else so that we can help ourselves understand. But we don't need to understand. Where is the need for understanding coming from? Just let yourself do it. You know everything already. Why? Because all the information that is around you is yours. You are the silly one identifying with anything. You're not a man. You're not a woman. You're not white. You're not black. You're not anything. You're bacteria that formed into some strange form because of your adaptation and evolution. Your genetics, 95% related to a mushroom. That's a lot. That's a whole fucking lot. So what are you bickering about? What are you doing? Okay. So the mushrooms share the information without bias. If you're walking... No, okay, here's a real good story. Someone told me that we couldn't grow Santa Claus mushrooms here on this island. I've done it. In the barges, for example, out there in the water, gravity changes right there at the shoreline. And it's so subtle that we do not notice. But with that gravity shift, what's happening is like there's this automatic pull for information. So if a spore happens to have magically made its way through the electromagnetic field of energy, through all the changes, and landed in a temporary holding place, because that's it. The spores especially know that it's only temporary, that even the sun may change its ability to manifest into a physical form, but it's still there. You don't see it. By about noontime, you go out, those mushrooms they seem to be gone. But then you come out about 4 a.m, oh man, they're so prevalent, they're so big and beautiful. And then 5 a.m, the honeybees, they come buzzing around, they land on those little mushrooms and get that morning dew off of those mushrooms. What's that morning dew? Information. The bee's ability to adapt. We've learned words like adaptogen properties. All the information is yours. It doesn't matter what you look like. You're the one making it matter. And then if you blame somebody else for holding you back and making you identify as anything, My friends, the separation has gotten to you. The indigenous microorganisms. So how do I relate as a farmer, right? How do I identify as a farmer? Well, it's a word that I want to choose. Why? Because I'm romantic. I was not born a farmer. No. I grew up in the city. I did have cool experiences out in North Carolina, family and so on, and the East Coast. And then as I got older, I had more experiences with this, that, and the other thing. But the bottom line is I wasn't out raised to grow food. So how do I get that the ability? How did we get the ability to evolve and change at any point? So something came up about watermelons. Well, I live on an island where it appears as though I can't fucking grow watermelons. But I know one spot of the island has a watermelon growing, and it's Waimea. Waimea has watermelons. Well, let's observe how Waimea came to have the ability to grow watermelons. So you can study all that information. Or you can go collect the indigenous microorganisms. So I like to make different fermentations. So there's a process, right? So you can go get rice. You can wash the rice, and there's this white liquid, right? Then you can let that breathe and sit in a glass container, breathable but covered, but just breathable. And you will see that then it's collecting information, turning it to bacillus. So now that is a culture, okay? And it's alive. That's because it was never dead. It just lacks some form of structure, right? So the bacteria wants to bring it back to life. Life needs to be breathed into everything, if you will, right? So this culture is just waiting to be awoken. So structure. So now the molecular formation is wildly taking place. And fermentation is like a bypass. It's this magical bypass. I mean, we just see staph infection on our skin and it's like, oh, I better take antibiotics. Bro, slow the fuck down. You got that shit. You got it all. Handle it. It's fine if you want to take antibiotics, but I'm just saying, maybe you have the ability to heal already. Okay. So maybe the ability to heal is just a little effort away, a little awareness away, right there at your fingertips. So this story was a big roundabout story because I'm romantic, okay? I didn't need all this fucking bullshit. But I have attachments myself. I want to dissolve separation. I want to heal that delusion. We're not separate. We're not. But the only way we can heal it is to allow the full gamut of the expression, right? So then, in the meantime, how are we growing? Expanded awareness. So if I want to grow a watermelon and it appears as though I'm not able to, what will I do? I will go collect the indigenous microorganisms. Yes, indeed, I will. So it's alive in the soil. In Waimea, I collect with that rice now because I washed the rice and that white I'm collecting for 72 hours or so. I'm going to collect and form a bacteria, but I still have all that rice. So I'm going to go put it in a wicker basket, and I'm going to go hide it. Because the land wants to share. The land wants to grow food. I am a child of the land. I want to grow food. I want to commune with the land to grow food. Why? Because I eat for pleasure. I eat for awareness. I eat because I evolve. I am bacteria. Wake up. Wake up. All right. So now I've collected all these bacteria, and they show up in all these cool colors on the rice that I stored. You keep it there for about 7 days, right? So it's going to gather all the bacteria. They're going to grow on that rice. And then you're going to bring it back. You're going to feed it. Yeah, you feed it. You can feed it sugar. And magically, it'll grow. It'll expand. It'll really like make an impact. So now you can take that expanded awareness from Waimea and give it to the land where you are currently residing. And now you may have the ability to grow watermelon. You just may have. I'm not saying, I'm not promising anything. I'm not promising because, hey, let's face the facts. We have different elevations. We have different climates. We have microclimates. You know, we have all these things. I'm just saying there are things you could do. Now, did I culture appropriate when I did that? Do you think the land gives a holy fuck? The land is constantly evolving and wanting. I mean, I see it as a want. I don't even know what it is. It's growing. It'll grow a fucking weed if you don't put something there. You spray it with glyphosate. All right? Now, roundup. Now, you really want to get me going down a freaking journey. Roundup changed my life. I used to be so angry at people, and you know, like because of the bees and how it affects their nervous system, and you know, I have resentment around chemicals and everything. And then I'm like, oh, it's just my lack of awareness. Thank you, Roundup. So how do I fix what I see as broken? I learn more. I study more. I educate myself more. And as I do that, I evolve. My quest for information, I don't know. Like, I thought I had a big quest when I was a kid, but man, now yeah. Okay. So this did not at all turn out how I was imagining. It was going to be maybe a little more educational as far as like indigenous microorganisms. Oops. See, that's the personal attachment there. You know, like I really obviously am kind of sick of the bullshit. You know. Woman, man, you know, all the story, all the pain, all the suffering, all the separation, all the story keeping us apart. Man, when we make love, you got that story going? When we connect, is that story playing? Or are two humans just coming together to make sweet love? and connect and dissolve it all. I mean, you look at what the woman's ability is, right? So if we're going to play the identification game, look at her ability to store the information. Genetically, down to genetics, you, with science, can tell who she loves. What if you could see it with your eyes? Would you have a newfound appreciation for that kind of information? Would it help you to dissolve the separation? Well, you can. You can see it. You can. You just have to quiet all the stories keeping you apart. You have to quiet all that information that's unnecessary and focus on the evolution. The story, the pain, the suffering, the victimizing, it's stopping that growth. The roundup being sprayed, it's going to, though, cause pain and all that, but seeing the land evolve on its own, it grew a new weed. That weed produced a new milky substance that produced an ant, or called an ant. The ant came and did its job. What's the ants do? They make dirt. So you come along, humans controlling the weeds, spraying, killing everything, the microorganisms in the soil with the roundup, but something still evolves to grow. Always will. Boy, this did not at all turn out like I was imagining. See, this is what happens when you let story get in the way. Man, I just want us all to love one another. But I guess I need to learn myself and let go of my attachment to that. And if you want to experience it the hard way, then so be it. So be it. I just wish you knew how happy you could be. I just wish you knew. So when your body is calling out for you like that, it wants a bike ride, it wants to stretch. Your allergic reaction could just be a mushroom away. Your stuttering, your brain function, could just be a bacteria away from change and growth. And more importantly, culture. One culture to another, it is that culture's responsibility to share the information. The aggregate, the soil, it's waiting for the information. It needs it. So if there is a need, it's the information. The bacteria is just like gobbling it all up because it wants to grow so much, and when you fight it so hard, it'll eat you up. Don't do that anymore. Don't fight it. I know there's fuckfaces out there. plenty culture appropriation, plenty of, racist pigs and all those things. I get it. So I won't be mad at you. You are justified. Of course. For those of you, though, that want to expand in culture and awareness and are seeking the information, the mushrooms, the electromagnetic field of energy, the microbes, they have it all. The water. Communing with animals like bees and cows will help expand the evolution. The gut microbiology of a cow is super special. So they have, as many bellies as they do to, digest the information, the sugars off of the grass, through the mycology, right? And then when they poop, that's why the mushrooms grow there, because it's this super rapid experience to change the ability to grow everything around, collecting the information from the field of energy, the sugars there, they got all that. They're like right underneath the grass is all the information right there, and the cows are digesting that. And then you could call it spirit, though. The ancient shamans called bacteria spirit. That it's going to take up a physical residence somewhere, because you're physical. So you eat it, and then bam, like a light. Make light, shine the light. When something's painful, that's what you do. You make light of it. We don't have these sayings for no reasons. Anyway. Indigenous microorganisms are all around you. Use whatever you can possibly get available. On YouTube, you could search how to collect indigenous microorganisms. You'll get the lesson. This was obviously more of a personal lesson in regards to maybe dissolving separation and the delusion that comes with that.